Hey guys, it's John here. I'm going to do part two of this video, okay? So first things first, I'm going to talk about a chord that we all know, C major. It goes with the scale that I just was talking about. And how do we make it? We make it by building stacking thirds, right? C, E, G. Normally I use 1, 3, 5 as the correct fingering. Sometimes you'll see me pull away and use different fingers so you can see exactly what I'm playing. Now, here in the key of C major, just like every other major key, I'll always find chords. I'll always find, these are called triads, by the way, the ones that are made of 3 notes. I'll always find them repeating themselves in an identical pattern. There's going to be a major chord, then a minor, then another minor, then a major, then a major, a minor. The second to last one is called a diminished chord, and then we're back home to the major. Okay, I want you to take that piece of paper we were working on the scale theory, and I want you to write down Roman numeral 1 capital, and then I want you to write Roman numeral 2 lowercase. Okay, here's Roman numeral 3 lowercase. Then there's going to be 4. You remember how to make Roman numerals, right? There's 4. Then there's going to be a big old 5. See that? Then there's going to be a lowercase 6, little v, little I. Then you're going to see a lowercase 7, with a little degree sign next to it. Okay? The degree sign means diminished. 7, diminished. And then we're back to 1. Ta-da! And I'm going to talk about it again. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. I'm going to talk about the diminished chord in about a few minutes. Now, why does that matter? Well, let's talk about another very nearby, easy to understand key. The key of G, G major, where I'm going to make sure that my half steps and whole steps are just like a normal major scale. That means the one thing I have to do is change F to F sharp. So we have a half step between that second to last and the final note, see? Now, I'm going to go ahead and harmonize this whole scale. That means I'm going to build stacks of notes. See that? G major. Now, the next chord up in this key is going to be a minor. Remember our chart? The 2, like lowercase 2, that's a minor chord, A minor. The next one, remember I'm going to have to make F sharp because of our key signature that all the Fs are sharped in a G major. That's a B minor chord. See that? Now, the next chord, what do you think it's going to be, a major or a minor? It's going to be a major, because look at our chart. 4 was uppercased. The 4th chord of every major scale is going to be a major chord. So is the 5th, right? The 6th chord is going to be a minor chord, right? This is E minor. See it? The next chord, F sharp, A, C. Ooh, that's spicy. That is a diminished chord, just like the 7th chord of every major scale is. And then we're back to 1. Now, here's something to know, okay? The 1st chord and the 5th chord have a close relationship to one another. The chord that's 5 up is called the dominant chord. The 1st chord is called the tonic chord. The dominant chord and the tonic chord, if I go a 5th down, I'd end up at C. See that? That's why they call that one the subdominant. Does that make sense? So if I go G at tonic, C at subdominant, D is dominant, and then I can go back to there, and then I can go back to G. Now, a lot of songs get built with just 1, 4, and 5. It doesn't matter what key we're in. I could make the example a little bit more thorough, but actually what I wanted to talk about, rather than going through key after key and showing you that I'm right, believe me, I'm right. G, B, D is my G chord, right? Now, what if I put the G at the top? See that? I switched the fingering around a little bit. I used my 2nd finger there so that I have an easy match to my pinky. If I go, see how this is a G chord in an inversion. And I like talking to you about this through some videos because you can play it back if you want to. If I rearrange the notes of a chord, I'm putting the chord through inversions, a different kind of inversion each time. This one has the root on the bottom and the fifth on the top, right? This one has the third on the bottom and the root on the top. That's a very final sounding one, especially if there's a low note like that all at once. Then this one has the fifth on the bottom and the third on the top. It's a very melodic sounding chord, right? Right. And as time goes on and your hands get larger, it's easier and easier to play full octave-sized triads where we're doubling things. But I can do the exact same exercise. And this is the exercise I want you to play. Just like before with the scales, I wanted you to actually run through your scales. Here I want to show you. I'm going to pre-5. Now I'm going to go 1, 2, 5 to the first inversion of the chord. Then I'm going to go 1, 3, 5 again. See that? And then 1, 3, 5. The left hand is a little different. If I put this here, 1, 3, 5, and then I'm going to do 1, 3, 5 again there. I'll switch to 1, 2, 5 here, and then to 1, 3, 5. It's just because the opposite side of our thumb on our hands. Now I'm going to do that with A minor. You know what makes this easier? Yeah, that. Now what I'm doing when I play these chords broken is called arpeggiating. I'm sure you already knew that, right? Here I'm going to go ahead and use my right hand because it's easier to hold the camera. My fingering gets a little bit different when there's black notes involved because, after all, the black notes are shorter than the white notes. And it's tough sometimes to put a thumb on them like this. Sometimes it's easier to keep your thumb off and use different fingering. But for all of the all-white note chords, you definitely want to have a formula, a scale formula. 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. We're going to use this stuff a lot, I promise. And it's nice because then we can start to see how we'll make a G chord go to a C chord and then to a D chord. See that? Instead of going G chord to a C chord to a D chord, I can get it a little compressed. I can go to a G to a C to a D. Seeing how, like, oh, a D chord is just this. See that? If I just move one note from either side to another, I can keep all my chords very compact and not have to hop all over the keyboard. A lot of times, and with a piano, it's so easy to combine scalar elements and chord elements because it's really easy to make a note, right? So as time goes on, we're going to not only talk about major and minor triads, we're also going to talk about what makes a diminished chord, right? There it is. Spoiler alert, it's that the outside notes aren't a full 7 half steps apart, they're only 6. And it sounds really pinched and tight. There's a lot to say about diminished chords, and we'll get to them over time. Other things that we're going to do is talk about how if I stack one more third on top, I end up with what we call a 7th chord. See? G, B, D, F sharp. That's a G major 7 chord, and it's beautiful. The next chord would be a minor 7 chord, A minor 7, just like B minor 7. And then here's C major 7. This one is called D7. No major, it just is called 7. D7. Sometimes people call it a dominant 7th. Here's another minor 7th chord. Here's a diminished, I guess it's a half diminished, but let's not worry about those details. There's a lot of shimmer that's available in harmony once we start getting out of the basic crayons. So these triads, minor chords and major chords, and maybe 1 or 2 diminished chords along the way, are like our basic 16-pack of crayons, right? So eventually we're going to get to 64, and there's lots of different ways of getting there, and there's lots of different ways of knowing what they mean and how to summarize them. But harmony is neat. It's a big department store. There's all sorts of stuff in it. Okay, you guys, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for listening to these lessons. I'll talk to you soon. Have a very happy Saturday. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.